We all get to this point where we just feel the total weight of life, right? All the stress, everything we've been through, it all adds up. It's this feeling of wear and tear. And today, we're going to explore a path to relief that's, well, it's surprisingly simple.
I mean, really. Have you ever had that feeling where you just cannot take on one more thing? Not physically, not emotionally, not mentally. You are at your absolute limit. Just completely maxed out. If you've ever been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's actually put a name to that maxed out feeling. Let's call it life's wear and tear. Just think of it as the way all the pressures and challenges of life kind of stack up over time, and they take a real, actual toll on us. Okay, here's a really great way to picture this. Your body is like the sole of a shoe. When you get a new pair, the sole is thick, it's resilient, you can walk over little pebbles and you barely even feel them. But over time, that sole gets worn down, it gets thinner, and suddenly you feel everything so much more intensely. Your capacity for stress, for the bumps in the road, is just lower. Our bodies work the exact same way. And look, it's really important to get that this is a totally natural process. As we go through life, as we face challenges, that sole of the shoe is going to get thinner. The wear and tear gets more obvious. But hey, that's not a sign of weakness. It's the mark of a life that's actually being lived. So we've talked about this idea, right? But now we're going to see how it goes from just a concept to a really deep personal turning point. Because, understanding wear and tear in your head is one thing, but feeling it in your bones, that's something else entirely. This quote, man, it just cuts right to the heart of it. It's this really raw, honest admission of what happens when that wear and tear hits a breaking point. It's not just stress anymore, it becomes real physical pain. So, what did that actually look like? Well, it was a time of having to rebuild life from the ground up, and that brought on these pockets of really intense pain in different spots all over the body. It was that classic maxed out feeling we talked about, and this dawning realization that the old ways of coping, they just weren't going to cut it anymore.
But here's the thing, right there, at what feels like the breaking point, something can shift. Out of all that difficulty, a moment of real clarity can emerge, a truly profound realization about what it's going to take to heal and actually move forward.
So what was it? What was this big realization? Well, the secret, the most powerful tool to fight back against the weight of all that wear and tear, is simplification. Now, that sounds so easy, right? But as we're about to see, it's often the hardest thing to actually choose. It's kind of funny, isn't it? The simplest answer is almost always the most profound one. When you feel like you're drowning in everything, the way out isn't to do more, it's to do less. The secret is just to simplify. And this right here, this gets to the absolute core of why it's so difficult. Why does simplifying feel so gut-wrenching, almost like a kind of death? Because it forces us to choose. It makes us let things go. And letting go can feel like we're losing a piece of ourselves. You have to understand this one core principle. Things lead to more things. And we're not just talking about physical stuff. Every single commitment, every complication, every new thing we add to our lives, it all demands our energy. Think about it. Even a simple little houseplant needs space and water and attention. Our lives are just full of these houseplants. Okay, so if simplification is the key, how in the world do you actually do it? Let's walk through a pretty practical guide to choosing less and starting to dial down the stress in your life. All right, here's a 4-step process. First, just listen to your body. Seriously, where are you holding that stress? What's your real capacity right now? Second, reduce your options. Stop driving yourself crazy with a million choices. Just narrow any decision down to 2 paths, A or B. Third, check in with your values. Ask yourself, okay, of these 2 options, which one lines up with what's most important to me? And finally, step 4, make the choice that serves you, your real needs, not what everyone else expects of you. And this is what that looks like in the real world, a moment of pure clarity. When you're forced to choose between 2 things, your true priority just comes into focus. In this case, it was clear. The human connection was way more important than any physical possession, no matter how much it meant. And this wasn't just some abstract idea. It meant making really hard, tangible changes. It meant downsizing into a tiny apartment. It meant giving away things that felt like they were part of an identity.
And it meant facing that real, sharp pain of letting go head on. It was not easy, but it was absolutely essential. So after all that difficulty, all that letting go, what's waiting for you on the other side? Well, this is the good part. This is the payoff, the deep, profound reward for making those tough choices, the genuine joy you can only find in simplicity. This lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have this endless, frantic chase for what we could call manufactured experiences, chasing status, money, making complicated plans. And on the other side, you have the deep satisfaction that comes from what some people might call boring, simple things, just enjoying nature, getting enough sleep, finding a quiet moment to think. That's where the real richness of life is hiding. So, in the end, it turns out we've kind of been sold a lie that happiness is about having a million options. The truth is, genuine peace doesn't come from more choices. It comes from the incredible clarity you get when you have fewer, more meaningful choices, and you let the rest of it go. And that leaves us with one final question. And this one's for you to think about. Take a look at the wear and tear in your own life. Really listen to what your body is trying to tell you. What is your life asking you to let go of? What is it asking you to simplify?